Okay, beautiful people, beautiful people. Wow, the heat of the moment. Let me see. Ooh, let me see. In the heat of the moment, in the heat of the moment, in the heat of the moment. Okay. All right, beautiful people. It's a wonderful day, and this is not your regular Sunday Jangi. Today is a Tuesday, the nation's capital city of Cameroon, and we are live to talk about something that has been very trendy. We could not just resist this topic. Yeah, like seriously, we could not just resist this topic. We had to talk about this and maybe see what we can pick from it and get going. Yeah. Please, those of you coming in, do your best to connect. As you connect, you share and invite people, and so we can have this wonderful conversation on Two Face. You see on the caption already, Two Face, Idibia, and Annie Macaulay. Those of you coming in, do your best to share. No to really matter. You already know I'm Wickham and I'm always your anchor man here to have these beautiful conversations with you. Hmm? Always ready, always ready, always ready. Always ready to have this conversation with you, and we're definitely going to have a beautiful time. As you connect, you share. Please let us know where you're watching us from. Connect, you share, you connect, you share, you connect, you share. You connect, you share. When you connect, you share to as many people as possible. You share to as many people as possible so we can have this conversation and we can pick what we gotta pick from here. Finally speaking, this is trendy and it cares not take you with my music. Then please connect. When you connect, you share to as many people as possible, and we're going to dive deep. Immediately, we have a good number. I see some people connect already. Please let us know where you're watching us from. We're not going to be here forever. You see, when you connect, we share. When you connect, we share. You connect, you share. You connect, you share. When you connect, you indicate, please. You share to as many people as possible, so we can have you. When you connect, just leave a comment. We are talking about Two Face and Annie Idibia. I don't know how I'm going to have this conversation, but it's something that is really hot, and we really need to talk about this. Connect and share, connect and share, connect and share, connect and share. Share to as many people as possible. Let's have this conversation. Let's have this conversation. Let's have this conversation. Hello? Hello? Yeah, yeah. Cool. Are they live? Are they live? Let me call you back. Uh-huh. All right. Share to as many people as possible. Share to as many people as possible. Share to as many people as possible so that we can have this conversation to as many people as possible. Keep sharing, share. Share on Facebook, share on WhatsApp, share on Instagram. Share on Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, wherever. When you connect, please let us know. I see some people connecting and liking already. Please let us know where you are watching us from so we can have this conversation in a very friendly manner. Connect and share, connect and share, connect and share. We won't be here forever, and we're just going to have this conversation in a very brief but interesting manner. Please share to as many people as possible. Share to as many people as possible. Share. All right, Nisi Chamugong, I see you. Please, those of you connecting, share, and let us know where you're watching us from. You see where you're watching us from? And those of you coming, equally do let us know where you're watching us from so we can have this conversation. Oh, Claudia, I see you. Hope you're doing okay and hope everything is okay on your side. Glad to have you here. Please, those of you connecting, do your best to share. Share to as many people as possible. This is not our regular live, but it's an emergency session, and let's exchange ideas. Claudia da Silva. I mean, been a while. Glad to have you, and glad to be with you here. Claudia, please connect and share. We won't be here for long. We're just going to share these ideas and what we have to say on these, and see how we can exchange ideas as well. All right. All right. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like we all already know, a few days ago, I don't know exactly how many days. That should be around 2 days. We have the outburst of a particular news that came as a shock to many people, but to some other people, they felt like the news was the thing was supposed to have happened long. You see, now this is about our African Queen Krona, our much celebrated and loved Tubaba, coming out by himself to announce the dissolution of their marriage. Oh la la. I don't know why my camera is having an issue. I don't really know why it does this. Announce the dissolution of their marriage. At one point, some people thought it was a prank, but while we prayed it was a prank, we actually came to understand that it was not actually a prank, but a reality. Now, I think I'm just going to zap the cameras. Let me see. Please share. Why I'm zapping the camera, you can share. I don't know why my camera did this. Please just keep sharing. Let me sort this out with the camera. Two-Face and Annie Idibia. Or do I say Two-Face Idibia and Annie Macaulay? Because even the Oga himself is beginning to use the wife's father's name to call her. I and Annie Macaulay are no longer together. We're like, Baba. That's what the story don't be. You see? Please connect and share. I'm sorting out the camera. I'm sorting out the issue with the camera. Just keep sharing so that we have this conversation in a very beautiful manner. Two-Face and Annie. Two-Face and Annie. I don't know, do I call Annie Macaulay or Annie Idibia? Prince Diamond Empire. Yeah, for sure. I like this kind of thing fine. I like a way. You know now. You already know now. I never miss. This is something. This is something. We really need to jump into this and give our ideas. Yeah. Voila. Let me get into the studio from here now. All right. I'm sure you all can see me now. Voila. No more issues with the what's this? No issues with the network. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, like you all know it, this is usually a conversation, and we have a very wonderful lady who's been back, who's been at the backstage and the backbone of all this for some time, and today she will be joining us live to share her opinion on this. And this is no other person than Sally Sharon. Hi Sharon, how are you doing today?
Hi, sir. I'm good. I'm fine.
Is your connection all right? Your connection seems to be tripping. Can you get me?
Okay, yes, I can get you very well.
All right.
Hi.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Great. How you doing?
I'm fine, boss. How are you too?
Okay. I'm okay. Glad to have you. Hope you had a great
Yeah.
day.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Now, in the heat of the moment, the internet has been trembling. I just want to say big shout out to you, Nisi Samu Chamukwa, I see you. Big shout out to you, Chan Claudia De Silva, I see you. Big shout out to you, Princess Diamond, I see you. Big shout out to you, Azeye Igor Aristide, I see you. Yeah, I don't know. Sincerely, I don't know how to call whether I'm Mr. and Mrs. I don't really know. But let's just go the way they are wanting us to go. First and foremost, when it came out, I thought it was a prank. But looking at the different instances of how things actually have been unfolding with these particular people, you will know that there's a high possibility that it's not a prank. There's a high possibility. But until we are proven beyond reasonable doubt that it is reality, they will take it that way. But for now, let's work with the narrative that they are giving to us, especially the Oga Tubaba himself. A whole Tubaba African queen. African king don't deserve for Sakwa African queen. You see? And then it goes says, are you guys okay? It says, should I call you Annie Macaulay or Idibia? I'm telling you, I'm really confused. I don't know which one to use. Why is Annie Macaulay or Idibia? You see? Now, okay. So, like I was saying, few days ago, we had the news outbreak like that. And this was about our popular African queen crooner, Tubaba. This is an artist that is loved by many people for his beautiful song, African Queen, and many other songs. And this guy has been on the spotlight for quite God knows how long.
Yeah.
Now he's been a star and is in a legendary state where even other artists respect him and the industry respects him. The industry as a whole even respects him. And this guy has been married to this lady for some time. I don't know how many years exactly, but it is alleged that he met this lady, Annie Macaulay. I don't want to use Idibia. He himself is calling it Macaulay. Dorinda Gela, I see you. Dorinda Gela, I see you. Good evening to you. Hope you're doing okay. Big shout out to you. Now, they've been married. They've been together since this lady was 15 years and he was 24. And now they've been together for, I think that should be above 20 years, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, big shout out to Nguno Sup. Mari Sup. Hope you're doing okay. Now, in the heat of the moment, sometime in 2021, they have had controversies around their marriage and stuff's happening up, down, left, right, center, with different things going on. But all of that passed, and they solved it amicably and brilliantly, like many other couples would do, or public people. They did that, and everything went on smoothly. But what got us triggered was the fact that this period, 2 days ago, Two-Face dropped a publication saying that he is terminating their union. That's the union between him and Annie Macaulay, or Annie Idibia, as husband and wife. These people have been together for some time, and all of a sudden they're terminating it. I'm sure this should be the first time Two-Face is talking about their marriage or their relationship and taking things like this in a public manner. The very first time. And when he did that publication, the internet was, there was chaos. And finally, it got to that point where the post was taken down and trying to create something like hackers. They came up with one hacker story, and all of a sudden he came up again and said, "Now me talk am with my full chest. They no hack my accounts." When he did a video, he did 2 videos. I'm sure the second video was just to confirm the fact that this is not an AI generated video. But now me talk am. And now he announced the dissolution of their marriage. Sharon, what do you have to comment about these 2 people? Do you think what Two-Face did was the right thing to do at the moment? And why?
Two-Face and Annie, they have been married for like 12 years, and they have known each other for like more than 20 years.
12 or 20? How long have they been married?
They've been married for like 12 years.
12, okay.
Yes, 12 years. And they've been together for more than 20 years. And yes, from the block since years.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, for me, it's not the right moment actually to file a divorce, because Annie is going through a lot right now, according to the blogs and according to the social media and everything. And for me, because actually Annie's been back online before he even came online and spoke about the divorce. Annie has been back online according to the show they have in South Africa. So for me, it's not the right moment, because I think he has been keeping some things for so long, because Two-Face normally does not talk. He has never come online and said his marriage is this, his marriage is that. So
and
I
this
think
is what's happening.
It's something he has been holding for so long. But for me, this was not the right time.
So why don't you think it's the right time? Because this is the same argument we have been having with people online who think that this is not the right time, this is not the right time. Do you think there's a right time to call a marriage up or to quit a marriage? Do you think there's a particular time?
Because he has to consider they have kids, and they are stars, they are superstars, and they have kids. So they have to consider all that. How would the kids feel like their mother is not in the right state for this kind of news or this kind of... So he had to consider all that for me.
Yeah, network seems to be tripping. All right, let's take a few comments. While waiting for your network to balance up, let's take these few comments. We have this one coming from, Marisop, I don't know, Gono Sop. I just hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly. I beg no vexel. She says it's not for the weak. Marriage is not for the weak. Let's look at some other comments. This is Loom Heidi, aka the official Mrs. Zemuka. Ladies and gentlemen. She says, what is the reason for the divorce? Now, frankly speaking, and to be very sincere with you, at the moment, I don't think there's anybody that knows the reason for this divorce. At the moment, I don't think. Please, those of you coming, please share, 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 share. Let's have this conversation and let's have it with as many people as possible. I don't think there's anybody that knows the reason for this divorce because the reason has not been made public yet. And Two Face said he's going to he's going to actually grant a press release, not because he wants to send out his family out, but he loves his people. I think they deserve to know the truth. Now we have Jem Harrieta. We have Jem Harrieta. She says, topic of discussion, please. We are talking about Two Face and his recent divorce. That's what we're talking about. We have Health is Key. Good evening to you and happy Tuesday. Now we have this one coming from Azeye Igor. He says, first posted as copy from Kelly Hannes, Two Face eldest daughter. He says, sometimes our nanny takes us out to local neighborhoods and we see how families are happy with the little they have. We see kids running around playing all sorts of games with big smiles on their faces. I always wonder what gives them so much joy. My siblings and I always want to go back there because that's the life we wish for our parents. Expect us to be okay. That's the life we wish for. Full stop. Our parents expect us to be happy with all they do for us. They fly us out on our birthdays, buy us everything we ask for, put on the best clothes and all, but still, oh la la. But still, the lack of peace in the house overshadows every other thing. Sometimes we are in the room and they think we are sleeping, meanwhile they are crying. Meanwhile, we are crying our eyes out while listening to them query. On my last birthday, after I blew my candle, I will forgot to keep my parents together forever, and I trust him on that. That's Two Face Idibia's first daughter. Now, I don't know if this is confirmed already or it is an alleged news. We equally have Hidden Jesus. I hope you're doing okay. We equally have there's another message coming from Two Faces. There have been instances of different instances of talk. I don't want to use a word so that we get flagged, but toxicity. You see, there was a part where we had the brother of Two Face coming out and talking. There was a part where we had Annie Idibia herself talking about some certain things in that home that the family with their voice mails that we allegedly leaked that part that belonged to that was Annie Idibia that made them allegedly. I'm to confirm that. Now there is this word from Two Face brother. Let me just read them here. I want us to be very, very keen. I want us to be very, very clean. We have this one from Two Faces brother. It says the relationship between okay. Let me just give a rundown. All right. It says, where does your violence end, Annie? Is it where you stab him, Two Face, in the chest while he sleeps? Two Face Idivia's younger brother, Charlie Brave, pours his heart out as posted in his official Instagram account. I pray for composure as I write this, and I pray for clarity because there is so much to say. This is no shape or form an attack on anybody. I just want I just want to create a peaceful space in my heart and move forward. Annie, I am sure you are shocked at all this, that all this is coming from me, because in your heart of hearts, you know I have always loved you and treated you the best way your brother-in-law should. Not because you gave me reason to, but because I tried to see you through Eno's eyes, and what he loved, I cherished. Respect is not title. Is not a title. Respect is a gesture, a feeling you give and you feel when you are giving. Even though I have been nothing but respectful to you, can't actually be demanding respect for me anymore when you have none of your husband or any of members of his family, his friends or staffs. You publicly humiliate him every chance you get from every chance you get, from pouring him food at my wedding to throwing bottles of Hennessy at him at my workplace or shouting at him at the top of your lungs in front of his celebrity friends or acquaintances, fights at the airport just to mention a few, over matters that could have been addressed privately? Or is it you asking your mates to lock the door and send the keys to you in South Africa, even though you knew your mom-in-law was in the house visiting her son and grandkids from Abuja? And out of respect for herself, she came to stay in my house. That's Two-Face Junior talking. What was her crime? Or is it you attacking my wife barely 3 weeks after we lost our baby, just because she wouldn't join your never-ending war with baby mamas and enemies that you create from their thin air? Just because you said yes and they said no. Please tell me, sis, where should I begin to respect you? It's a very long write-up which I'm not going to read. You can go and check that by yourself. Now, that's one angle. Now, before I jump in, let me just read a brief article we took from Nigerian Empire, like about Two-Face and and his wife. His wife until they are divorced, until they are separated, then we can say ex-wife. He says the relationship between Nigerian music icon Chubaba, Innocent Idibia, and actress Annie Macaulay Idibia has been a roller coaster. In 1999, Annie met Chubaba at Even Ezra Studios when she was 15 years old. She recalls, the moment our eyes met, I knew you were the one for me. After years of an on and off relationship, Chubaba proposed to Annie in 2012, and they had a civil ceremony in Lagos, later followed by a more elaborate celebration in Dubai on March 23rd, 2013. After years, okay, in 2012, they had a civil ceremony in Lagos, followed by a more elaborate celebration in Dubai marriage. March 23rd, 2013. In September 2021, Annie Macaulay publicly accused Two-Face of infidelity, alleging he spent nights with one of his baby mamas, Pero Adeniyi. That's from my tribes, I don't know how to pronounce that. She also criticized his family of their lack of support. Yeah. In another 2021, in October 2021, singer Bramo claimed that Chubaba had accused him of having an affair with Annie, further intensifying public scrutiny of their marriage. In November 2021, on her 37th birthday, Annie publicly apologized to Chubaba, their families, and fans for airing their private issues, expressing a desire for peace and personal growth. In March 2022, in the Netflix series Young Famous African, Annie opened up about the challenges of their marriage, revealing that her first child with Chubaba was his fifth, highlighting the emotional toll of his previous relationships. On January 26, 2025, Chubaba announced their separation on Instagram, stating, I and I are no longer together. Annie and I are no longer together. I he later clarified that his account was not hacked, confirming the authenticity of the announcement. All right, those of you coming in, you can join. That's just a briefing of how this our African queen crooner and a sweet girl. Now I don't know if it's a bitter girl or still sweet or how, whatever he is to him. And Annie Macaulay That's how it has been. And we have two people on the social media. Hmm? There are two categories, but the louder ones, the ones that are really loud are not really friendly at all. Let me see if I can get some posts from here. There is one Toke Makinwa who came out really loud. And this was they say nobody's asking to say in a situation that's not serving them any purpose. By all means, leave it if you must, but bring this online at this very moment. We know what is going on behind closed doors. The world doesn't know anything. It's already been hectic with opinions flying around. And when I say we will fight for her, I am not talking about the general public. A handful of people know the truth, and the time will tell. Timing is everything. Empathy is everything. You constantly preach love. You cannot add to the narrative that's out there where you know what is really happening and behind closed doors. Now, this is a very controversial one because the society already knows Two-Face for his numerous baby mamas. Two-Face has baby mamas. The guy is father of the born, the master be born. You understand? He has numerous baby mama, numerous ones, and it's been a constant troll. And some people use this to make jokes and make fun of his family and himself. Usually, he just laughs about it, and it's not big deal for him. You see. Now we have another comment. Let me tell you this one. This is another very interesting one. As it says, Ghana celebrities or companies that Annie tried to POISON to Baba. You get? So it becomes very complex because at one point we have gang Annie Macaulay trying to protect her. At the other point, we have gang Tubaba. So finally, we don't know which of these gangs are actually saying the truth. What we can talk of is the fact that Annie Macaulay has demonstrated a character of depression. I call it depression. She has been pained. She has been pained by the constant trolling and the constant baby mama dramas that she has been experiencing with this man. But now, on the other hand, we have Tubaba that has never spoken. This is one of the things that is making the whole of this thing very complicated. Because a lot of the times, when there is a situation, the louder party, in most cases the woman, but in some cases the mentor, the louder party get the empathy of the public. Yeah, we have another very wonderful person joining us. And in a lot of the time, the typical African man does not speak. There is a trick with silent people. I always say this, because somebody is silent does not mean that they are innocent. There are silent people that are very guilty of many things they have done, that open their mouth, it will cast and it will worry. So they choose to stay them silent and let the public blindly take them for the ones that are silent. And because somebody is vocal about something does not mean that they are proud, or does not mean that they are also correct or wrong. The best we can do in a situation like this, or in solving any problem, is to get both sides of the story. Now, before I proceed, I want to add up one of your faves, a very intelligent and beautiful woman that has always given us beautiful insights. Hi, Coach P. Glad to have you.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing
I'm
today?
sorry, I'm also at work. So,
All right.
hi, Sally.
Hi, Coach B.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great.
All right.
I'm here.
Now,
So, bring it on.
can you hear me? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
I can hear you, but I think you're frozen.
All right. Because before you came, we're trying to establish some key realities about that are centered around Two-Face Idibia and Annie Macaulay. I don't know if I call her Idibia or not. I just call her Annie Macaulay.
She's
Maybe.
still an Idibia.
Oh, Annie Idibia, Annie Idibia. Now, since the outburst of the news of their separation with between her and Two-Face, it happened that Two-Face brought out the news himself and is alleged they've been separated for about 6 months. And this marriage is one of the most controversial marriages we've had or witnessed in the media space. And it's just so loud because it has to do with the corona of the African queen. It's something that was much celebrated and created mass impact. It was like a turnaround for the Nigerian music industry. That's why Two-Face has his legendary status today. Now, I want to start first. Do you think that it was the right thing for Two-Face to do, coming out to announce their divorce on social media?
I mean, we might sit here and say that what we think is the right thing or what we think is the wrong thing, but the only two individuals who know the right and wrong thing are the two persons who are involved in this situation. And
Yeah.
we don't know if they agreed to put that out there. We don't know if he acted on emotions. We don't know if they've been separated for a while. Again, there's a lot of information running out there. So we don't know if this was their agreement that it should come out now. We don't even know if whatever they put out there, if it's even true, but they're just trying to get a lot of traction on the internet. So on a personal standpoint, I would say I don't know why it should be on the media. That's what I'll say personally. Why should it be on the media?
But Coach B, we celebrated their marriage on the media. We celebrate their life on the media. They are a couple that is much admired by people, especially with Annie being very patient enough despite the countless dramas and baby mama instances. And they are celebrities. So celebrities' life is almost impossible to keep celebrities' lives out of the media. And at one point in time, if it doesn't come to the media with a degree of clarity, then we might end up judging or accusing one person wrongly because we have a bunch of online in laws that are always ready to judge and always ready to apportion blames and always ready to take side. So, at a certain point, for the sake of clarity, it is just important for both sides to actually air their minds or even just come out on the media. To me, I think that's one point. The first is that they are celebrities and it's so difficult to keep celebrities' life out of the media. You see? Yeah. And now the next thing is, like you said, is the both parties in a marriage that know what their problem is and what's troubling them. That's a fact. Because people from the outside cannot really know the realities. The four walls of your house cover of a home or house covers a lot of things, a whole lot. There are people we have seen and say celebrity couple. At the end of the day, they are monsters at home. There are people we've seen and they are like a pattern for relationship and marriage, but at the end of the day, it doesn't work like that. You see, but that of Two-Face and Annie has been very dramatic. I can say from 2020 or 2021 like that, with the outburst of Two-Face baby mama trying to tease Annie. Annie Idibia leaked voicemail crying out and saying he's on his way to US, blah, or stuff like that. His Two-Face brother coming to say a lot of things about Annie. So it's just been a whole lot of a whole lot of controversy and a very controversial story. You see, and in the heat of that, these are people we love. They are celebrities. Celebrities means you're a public figure that people love and look up to you. And to a certain degree, your personal life becomes a business of the people. And I think that's why the public and bringing your personal life or your marital affairs to the public, trust me, it becomes public business. And that's why I think the public is actually talking about this to a greater extent. And the issue I am looking here are the gangs that we have been able to put as far as this is concerned. We have a gang of people principally championed by some women or a category of women that are very vocal. If you look at comment sections, and it deserves better. Two-Face, you are this. You are saying you are a two-face and you're actually showing your identity. And then some will say his name is even innocent. Look at a two-faced innocent person, and you try to, she is under depression, she's in rehab, two-face, you are this, all sorts of name. And there are some other able women like Toke Makinwa, I just hope I'm calling the name right, and even the Iyabo Ojos and other celebrities that are actually siding with Annie Idibia. She hasn't said anything and is alleged that she's been on rehab for the past 6 months, or not for the past 6 months, for some time. But Annie Idibia and Two-Face have been allegedly separated for 6 months. These are the information that are circulating. This gang is there's a very loud gang, a very loud group of people that are apportioning blame to Two-Face. And there's another small, there's a small minority that are actually saying that we should hear the other side of the story. You see? Now, Coach B, is it a time to take blames? Is it a time to take sides? Or what do you think the public needs to scrutinize in a situation like this? What do you think the public, what do you think should be the public's attention in a situation like this?
I don't even think the public has any opinion in this. Again, we cannot judge the public for making comments because it was brought to them. So if you give people reasons to talk, they will definitely talk, and you don't have control over what they say. So he brought it out, and people are making commentary on it. So I don't feel like we can blame people. They would say whatever they want to say, but again, the truth lies between the two of them. The truth lies between Innocent and the wife. So for me to say that what the comments that people are making are good or bad, I would still say I don't have control over it because people act based on their emotions. People say things the way they feel on the inside, and you cannot control that. From a personal standpoint, I've also made comments under some of these videos, but my comments are personal to me. My comments are mostly praying for the two of them. Those have been my comments. I'm praying for the two of them. And then I also made this comment somewhere, given the fact that the one who delivered the message was the man. One of the comments I made was, sometimes men will leave you in the dark. Women might compromise some of their standards to accommodate men, but men will never compromise their standards. When they are done, they are done. I am praying for them. That's the longest comment that I made under one of the posts that I saw. And on a personal standpoint, I'm making that comment because the man is the one who brought the message out. So in this case, he is probably the stronger person in the breakup. That's my understanding. So because he brought the message out, he's probably the stronger person in the breakup. And then the fact that I'm praying for both of them, the reason why I say I'm praying for both of them is because I know there's no breakup that will not hurt the man and the woman, because the two of them have been in love with each other and have been living for decades with each other. So in one way or the other, it's going to hurt each and every one of them. However, the true story or the true events that might have prompted this to happen only lies in the two of them. I don't think even their close in-laws or whatever, I don't think they have enough details. They might have some of the information, but the information still lies between the two of them. And I feel the mature thing to do is the two of them coming out. What I've noticed here in the West is most celebrities, or some of the celebrities, when they have a mutual breakup, the two of them share the news about the breakup, that we've decided to go our separate ways. We've had a conversation and we all agreed to it. That's a mature way of breaking up. not that one person is in rehab and the other person is posting on Instagram or on social media that they are breaking up. I don't think that was a mature way of doing it. And this is personal to me.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, one of those assertions, but let's go with the foundation of this. It's very clear enough that Two-Face has been an infidel for whatever reason that is known to him and has baby mamas. I want to find out something from you. Um, do you think Annie, or will you advise any woman in Annie's shoe to stay or to leave a marriage or to leave a man that has these characteristics?
A man being unfaithful is definitely not a deal breaker for every woman. Maybe that was not a deal breaker for her from the beginning, but the way he did it, later on, she realized that she cannot accommodate it. You understand? So maybe to her, and so many of us African women, we feel that way. We feel that cheating is not the worst thing that a man can do. But there are some women that cheating is just something they cannot deal with it. So if you cheat on them, they will definitely not compromise. But maybe for Annie, at the beginning of her relationship with Innocent,
You
it
know,
was not really a big deal for her because one, he's a superstar, he's very rich, he probably
yeah.
provides her everything she needs, and she thought that with the everything that she has, it's going to cover the infidelity. But now, until when it happens, and I'll always say this, you never know how you react on something until when it happens to you. Sometimes
All
when you
right.
see it
So,
happening to other people, you feel like, hey, they are not managing it well until when it happens to you. So probably she has lowered her standards to accommodate a cheating man, but the degree of cheating now is what she probably could not accommodate. And secondly, the way people are reacting to the cheating, because we've seen reality shows where this woman is being insulted by other people or by other superstars about the irresponsible behavior of her husband. She is taking the blows, and on media she will defend her husband. That's her being defensive. The whole world has categorized this woman as someone who is taking rubbish from her husband, and maybe she has been doing that knowing that because she's accommodating this man, she's going to be the man's do or die. So, but again, there's still a probability that this separation is a mutual thing between the two of them. Maybe they've come to agree that instead of me staying in this relationship and hurting you, Annie, I'll let you go. Instead of me staying in this relationship innocent and letting you hurt me and embarrass me and disgrace me the way you do, I'll rather let you go. So there's a huge probability that this could be coming from a place of love and not from a place of hate. They could have just gotten to a point where they realized that we cannot do it anymore. Let's just go our separate ways and live peacefully and be better parents to our children rather than stick together and have all this embarrassment that is coming around us because of my behavior. So there are so many things that we cannot uncover. And these are all hypotheses from my standpoint. So there's nothing I can verify here because I'm not a family member to them. And I've not been following their story very closely enough to know exactly what they've been doing. But I was able to watch the reality show, The Young and Famous African. I
yes.
saw so many blows that Annie took because of her husband's irresponsible behavior. And I saw the way she reacted to it. On no occasion did she throw her husband under the bus. She will always defend him to the point where people feel like she's hallucinating. And that's why I personally think, being a mental health advocate, I think she needed therapy. So I'm very glad to know that she's in rehab, first of all.
No.
Yeah.
Um, Sharon,
Yes, ma'am.
are you married?
No, I'm not married. I'm not
Okay.
married.
Good, we're having single people here. Watching. Now, Sharon, can you get married to a man that has,
I
if
can't
you're
get you
dating a
well.
guy and then he leaves you and have other children outside and comes back to marry you, can you marry that kind of a person?
I've not gotten you well. I think the network is. Disturbing.
You're in a relationship with a man, and he, in the course of the relationship, he goes out to have other children with other women and comes again to marry you. Are you going to marry that kind of man?
For me, it depends. There's there's a lot into it.
A lot like,
So it depends if you know. I would say it depends if it depends on our relationship.
how
It
close you
depends.
both are. So it means you're in line with Coach B's point, which says it is not, there's no general reaction for every woman, but it varies per woman. Am I correct, Coach B? That was
I
what
don't
you're
get you
implying.
well.
I'm
Oh,
Yeah,
can
sorry.
you
I
hear
don't
me?
get you very well.
I was saying, I'm just trying to understand it's in line with you that there's no fixed reaction that applies to every woman in a situation like this. Oh my God. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me?
No,
I don't know if you can hear me.
I can't
I
hear
can hear
you.
you, but you're frozen.
My network.
Yeah, it's working now.
Why is it like this today? Can you all hear? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, I think it's a little bit stable now.
Yes.
Well, uh, let's take a few comments. Let's take a few comments and then we'll write on. Now we have this one that says the girl was trying to play God because how can you be with a man and he leaves you, have children outside, then comes back to you? That's the first comment. The next one, shout out to Stefan Kono. This one says, never trust men. We'll go to the next. This one, do they two want to divorce? That is asking if Two Face and Annie Idibia, do the both of them want a divorce? Then we have, oh my God, the network is tripping. We have the next that says, this one got me. She says, she was there for the money. I don't know if you guys can see this comment. Voila. All right. I don't know. The network today is funny. Coach B, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. I can
On
hear
point.
you. Though you're freezing every now and then, but I still hear you.
Okay. Let's see. All right. This comment says she was there for the money, the superstar life. Tell me that Two Face has never changed since in the beginning. Since the beginning of being together. All right. All right. Thank you, Aze Igor says he can hear me. Now we have this other category that is capitalizing to say this legenda is not to be trusted. This let me take this final comment, then we'll go to the next point. This one says we need to understand that children should be the reason to stay in an unhealthy relationship. It's easier to care for children with sound mind than to have them with a toxic home.
Exactly. Exactly.
My God. Okay. Now, this is what I wanted to say. There is this thing. This point is very, very vital because a lot of people fall under this category, and you bear with me that a lot of people are in marriages because of the fact that they have children. A lot of people are quite tolerant because of the fact that they have children. And frankly speaking, a lot of women have used children to nail men. We cannot really deny that fact. And previously, we read a comment from a blog post alleging Two-Face Idibia's eldest daughter crying out on voicemail, and at the end, she said her greatest wish is for her parents to be together and have the best life. But do you think that children can influence union? Do you think that children can influence the union between a man and a woman?
Okay, children can definitely influence because again, the children are the product of the relationship. So it's but normal for the children to want their parents to be together until when. But the only thing that the children are blindsided about is the true relationship that exists between their father and their mother. And it's up to the parents now to help the children understand that things are not going well between your father or your mother and I. And for the sake of your own sanity, for the sake of my own sanity, for the sake of us bringing you up in a conducive environment, it's best for us to stay apart. I will always say that divorce doesn't damage children. The parents' inability to live to 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 build a good relationship around raising their children is what damages the children. Because if you stay even in the marriage and you do not have a good relationship with your husband, it even damages the kids more than you staying separately. So the thing about separation is the fact that when two people separate and they build this level of animosity against each other. When the kids go to dad is complaining about mom. When the kids go to mom complains about dad, and then the kids are just running helter skelter. But if the two individuals that are in the marriage separate amicably and stand independent of their relationship and focus on the children, then the children will definitely still be raised well rather than being in a toxic marriage when you cannot even show your own kids love. You wake up every morning moody, sad, unhappy, violent towards your partner, and you say you're staying in that relationship for the sake of the kids. You're staying there for your sake. You're staying for the sake of not wanting people to say things about you. What will people say? That's why people stay in relationships. It's not because of the kids. Because if you really value your kids, you will either make that relationship work or you will leave the relationship and make sure your relationship with the father or the mother is stable enough for the sake of the children. So it's okay that the child will feel like I want mommy and daddy to be together, but it's mommy and daddy to make the kids understand that we cannot do it anymore. So the kids might never understand because they are not there. They are not in that relationship. They are part of the relationship. They are not involved in the relationship. So it's the parents that will help the kids understand that we cannot do this anymore. And these are the adjustments that are going to come with our separation. Normally, the
Now,
kids always want mom and dad to be together. So, yes, children can influence a couple to stay together, but it shouldn't be the only reason why they're staying together.
yeah, because I've seen situations where a lot of people separate after about 20 years of being together, like this one. And you notice that the kids are usually grown to be 16, 17, 18, 20, and above. And in that case, they actually understand that the kids are already grown, so it's time for them to chase their happiness. I'm tempted to think that that was the case of Yorudochi, that anyway, and many other people. Now, the next thing I was looking at, in the course of this outburst of when Tubaba came out and said what he said, one set of people were for the were under the category of never trust men, Never sacrifice your life for a man. Do you think it's a battle for a woman to sacrifice her life for a man?
Why should you sacrifice your life for anyone else?
All right, great. Now, do
Yeah.
you think now what how for instance, if you want to do something, let me use this example. A lady wants to be a hostess, for example, and a husband doesn't actually want her to be a hostess. She loves the man loves her, but the man's problem is you can't be a hostess in my house. You see, what can you say to this kind of woman? What would be the right approach for this kind of woman?
I don't want you to be a hostess. It's not enough reason for me not to be a hostess. That's control. That's dominance. I don't like you to be a hostess because it will warrant you to travel a lot and you'll not have enough time to spend with me. You'll not have enough time to spend with the kids. So I would rather you do something else. That's enough reason for me to shift my mindset from thinking of being an air hostess. Just waking up one morning and telling me because I'm your wife, I cannot be maybe air hostess. That's not correct. I don't think any
Now,
man should communicate it that way. Give them
if the
reasons why they shouldn't be what they want to be.
okay, if the communication is done properly, don't you think the woman will equally be sacrificing her life?
No, you're definitely you're not sacrificing your life. You're taking an alternative because I cannot give up my dream of being a hair a why is it so difficult for me? Air hostess versus just being a housewife. I need to give up that dream for something else that I really desire. Because in life, you always have your first choice, you have second choice, and you have third choice. So if my first choice is air hostess, what is my second choice? And if you tell me that air hostess is something that I shouldn't do for good reasons, very good reasons, then give me an option and support me through that option. That's what I'm saying. So it's not like the woman is going to sacrifice her life just because she did not pursue that dream, because there will definitely be an alternative. But if you are gullible enough that a man was able to convince you to give up your only dream in life, trust me, you'll be in this same pot of soup today where people say that she gave up everything to be with him. No, you don't give up everything just to be with someone. If you have your dreams existed before this man came in. You existed before he came in. Your family existed before he came in. And that's why I'm always against people who turn their backs from their families because of someone else. I'm against someone who turns away from their dreams because of someone else. Provided you had your family, you had your dreams before this individual came into your life, if that family is not derailing you or it's not causing you harm, and even if your family is causing you harm, it's your family. If your dream is the kind of dream that is going to cause your doom, and then someone else is able to orientate you to a better dream, then that's a good way, that's a good approach to giving up on something you're so passionate about. But I don't feel that anyone should give up what they are passionate about just because they want to end up with someone else. That's huge sacrifice. And that's why you see people will hurt themselves because they gave up everything they had for the sake of someone. I don't think it's not a safe approach.
Now,
It's
because
not
this
safe.
is it's
Yes,
complex.
lack of emotional control, lack of willpower. I
Yeah,
mean, you
welcome
need
into
to
into
understand it's my dream, it's my vision gearing towards my purpose in life. Just imagine you giving up your purpose. What are you existing for?
me.
Yes. How do you give up your purpose in life? How do you now live? You live, you're existing, you're not living. So this is what we women do, or I don't know if men do this also. I think men rarely do this. Women are the
It's
ones who do this, and that's because we are so controlled by our emotions, and we think that the more sacrifices we make, the more people will appreciate us. Unfortunately, when you make sacrifices, you are telling the other person that you're very volatile, meaning that they can sway you to the right and you will change. They can sway you to the left and you will change. So stick to your purpose. What is your purpose in life? If that person you're choosing as a partner doesn't align with your purpose, I don't think the person is meant for you. That's what I
all
think.
right. Now there are these instances. This is a good way of saying it, but at one point I really want us to be very realistic. You see these public figure women when they get married, there's a high possibility we can quote examples even from our superstars that are no
But
longer
it's
doing.
common in the society that people are seeking trophy husbands and some men are seeking trophy wives. So this could have just been a trophy husband for Annie. Again, I'm saying this with quote and quotes. I'm not right. Just take it as if this is my own
Oh,
hypothesis. It's my imagination that Innocent could have been a trophy husband to her, meaning a house. Maybe her dream was to stay in a mansion where she has 12 servants and all of that. She drives the most recent cars. She travels to wherever she wants with a private jet and all of that. Maybe that was the dream. But at the end of the day, you would realize that that is not what gives us happiness. That's not
now
what gives happiness.
this is true because, like I always say, a lot of women in Africa, Cameroon, want trophy men, and likewise some women, yeah, and likewise some men. Now, this thing about I want us to be very, very, very clear because it is quite alarming when people are using Annie's case as though she gave everything for Two-Face Idibia, and he in return served her breakfast. Because at one point we don't even know what the Two-Face himself has tolerated. We don't even know what he has been going through. And if you look at it, there are some news flying around of her own hitches, which means she herself is not perfect. Both people are hurt. They married no waka, no waka. The poem is what begin to cite and begin to try to add salt to the wound. The marriage did not work, it did not work. There are two people that came to a union that did not work. We online in-laws, them apportioning blame. Do we stay in the house? No. Do we know them personally? No. Stay outside and begin to say what is happening in people's house. That's a mistake we make. And using it to give misleading advice to other people. That's where the big problem comes in. Now, I'll use an example of most people that are public figures, celebrities, especially in the music world. When they get married, most of them no longer do that. And frankly speaking, most of them are influenced by their husbands not to do that thing again, not to do music, not to act. There are a lot of actresses that came to limelight some 2016s, and all of a sudden, when all of a sudden you make about a year or two without actually hearing from them again, just to discover that she got married. And this is a common thing. For one part, you say if your vision does align, it means she's not meant for you. At the other part, could be who is leaving wood for who. Finally, because we need to be very clear, is it a is it a man leaving to go and meet the woman, or the woman leaving to go and meet the man? Because I think we're talking about vision here. On a man's part, you can say, me, I'm that category kind of person. If your vision, I like dialogue a lot. If I meet a lady and her vision doesn't align with mine, trust me, no matter any other aspect, there's a very slim possibility that we might have a lasting stay. It's more like this. In fact, it's not possible. Now, on one part, that is me drawing my line. If I'm categoric that I am not looking for this kind of person, and a person comes that is good but has these particular characteristics, and I say you let it go and you're not willing to let it go, I always I'll be like, you can get somebody that can tolerate you to do this particular thing that you want to do. But if you
I'll
have to work,
defer.
you will defer, right?
Yeah, I'll disagree with that partially.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we shouldn't be looking for partners that can tolerate us. I don't think we
Mm,
should be looking for partners that can tolerate us, but we should be looking for partners that can enable us. So what I'm
mhm.
saying is, I know that sometimes we'll use the word tolerate because we know we're imperfect. But if you go to someone with your imperfection, if you portray your imperfection about that person, the person will definitely accommodate you, but will enable you in your imperfection. So it's like you don't have a leg, or you don't have 5 fingers. If you show me that you don't have 5 fingers, you have just four, I will be the fifth finger for you. It's not that I'm going to be tolerating the fact that you have just 4 fingers, but I'll be completing the fingers. So that's the bad thing. That's the misconception that we have out there, looking for people that can tolerate us versus people that can enable us to be the best version of yourself. Because the reason why people think that, hey, I want to look for the person that can tolerate my imperfection, is because they've not accepted their imperfection. If you
Yeah.
accept that this is how imperfect I am, and you reveal yourself, don't hide your imperfection, reveal your imperfection, so that the person who is taking you should be completing the imperfection in you. That's what
Mhm.
enhances you. It enables you instead, rather than, because tolerance, when someone is tolerating the other person, it means that um they are covering themselves, they are degrading themselves to accommodate you. That's what tolerance would technically mean. Meaning, this is just something I cannot take, but I'm taking it because I want to tolerate this person. But if you give that person an opportunity to be your strength, the person does it with ace, does it, enjoys it, because they are completing you. They are not losing any part of them, but they are completing you. They are using their strength to complete your imperfection. So let's not be looking for partners that can tolerate us, but partners that can enable us. That's what I wanted
Now,
to add.
um, now is let me take this conversation. I think his tolerance in this case of what he can accept from someone not to be a burden bearer. Thank you. Because this is what I'm. In fact, let me make this elaborate so we understand very well. Now, you are in a relationship with a lady that wants to become a model, for example,
Mhm.
and it is very clear enough that that domain is not really a safe site like that, because in as much as it's a lamb-like kind of job, there are equally dark sides of it, from the promiscuity to the infidelity and many other things that come along with it.
Mhm.
And as a man, you are like, see, I like you as a person, I like your goals, and we have some similarities. But this modeling thing, you have to stop it because of the risk factors involved. Are you tolerating that person, or are you completing that person?
You're compromising. That's a compromise that I will make to be able to keep my commitment to you. Because the reason why I'm making that shift is because I want to be committed to you. If I don't want to be committed to you, I'm not going to make that compromise. So in that case, it's not like I'm tolerating. You've given me the pros and the cons, and I have decided to make a compromise, meaning I'm going to shift away from the idea of a model to probably something else that will still make me shine, will still be part of my passion, will still be me living my purpose. But in this case, I have compromised because of the commitment that I have to you or towards you. That's the way I'll look at it.
Yeah, because when you say, when women say never trust men, never sacrifice for men, never do this and that for men, it's in other words saying never stop, like don't even compromise. If
So
you want to do
yes,
anything, you should
it I
stubbornly
would
do
I
it.
would say yes. Probably that's what they mean by that. But it doesn't mean that they are practicing it. So for a woman to tell you don't compromise, it doesn't mean you should just take what she's telling you and just run with it. What does she mean by don't compromise? The degree of what Annie took from her husband is what majority of the women who are in the limelight, keyword, because there are so many women who are not in the limelight that are taking worse than that. They're taking worse than that. So that's what most women in the limelight, like Annie, will not take. They will rather step away. So, but a traditional woman, again, which in this case, I would think Annie was one of them, just that she enjoyed the luxury that came with it. But most traditional women will just be very comfortable and say, after all, he's an African man. He can have as many women as he wants. But the trolling is what was damaging Annie more than the actions of Innocent. Because trust me, maybe this is how Innocent has been from the time he met Annie when she was just 15. Maybe he has always been a promiscuous man, but she has always been either encouraged by her own family that, hey, he's a well-to-do man, he's an African man, he is polygamous by nature, as we Africans always say, and he might have so many women. But now she could accommodate that. She could take the children, accept the children. She could defend her husband, but she did not know that the crowd, the entire world, is going to be after her for doing that. That's one thing we need to identify. The entire world. Have you ever made a decision that to you, you think that decision is very correct, but everyone around you is trolling you for making that decision?
Yeah,
At some
yeah.
point,
So
you will start doubting, but did I make the worst decision? How come everyone else disagrees with this decision, but I'm the only one that thinks this was a good decision? So that's where this woman found herself. Trust me, she might have thought that it's okay to deal with this infidelity from my husband. Trust me, the family must have told her several times. There would have been times when she would have said, I cannot deal with this. He just keeps having babies with other women. They will tell her, take the kids. After all, you are the wife. You're the main wife. You're the one who is there. You're the one who is going to have all the properties and all of that. And she took the children in. But what she did not know was how the public was going to react to some of these things that she's doing and the things that her husband is doing. And it's the way people are reacting that has affected her the way she is, mostly.
now, Coach B, in the course of what you were saying, you talked of there is this concept of African man being polygamous or man being polygamous in nature. It's an argument that has been a very long, old argument that is seemingly never wanting to stop, and it keeps repeating. Do you think there's a faithful man on earth? Do you think a faithful man actually exists? I don't know. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Coach B? Uh, my sound. I don't know what's up with the sound. All right. Can you hear me, Coach B? My God. Now, I sincerely don't know what's up with the sound. Uh, could you please can you try to say something? But let me. Let me close StreamYard and come back a moment, please. All right, Coach B, you there? Can you hear me? This is horrible. You can hear me, but I cannot. I don't know why it's not sending out sound from here. I don't really know what's happening. My God. Oh, all right. Let me connect from my mobile device.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Okay. It's okay. It's okay now. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. It's fine. At one point, I
So
could
I
not
think you
hear
were
you. But
asking if there's any faithful man in the world.
yeah, I was asking, do you believe there's a faithful man in the world?
Yes.
And what makes you think so?
What makes me think so? Because I know with willpower you can be faithful.
Now, with the numerous crises of infidelity and no, it's okay now. I think it's okay now. Isaiah Igor, thank you so much. With the numerous crises of infidelity spearheading major causes of marriage break, like divorce cases and a lot of that. Even in relationships, one of the biggest crises, the man has cheated until it has gotten to a point where a lot of women and men say it's a masculine thing to be polygamous. Mm. How do you
So the
think this
women
can be?
saying that are just giving excuses for men. And again, I'm not saying this from a man's standpoint. I'm saying this because I think that it's not biologically proven that men are polygamous by nature, but it's culturally proven that men can be polygamous. It's
Okay.
culturally proven that men can be polygamous. So women just give excuses for irresponsible behavior. And I'm sorry that we are the ones doing that, even though some men also use that as an excuse to making poor decisions or not having adequate self-control. So I feel like infidelity is something that anyone is prone to being unfaithful. Even the women can be very much unfaithful. They choose not to. Any woman who is faithful or any man who is faithful, ask them this question. They will tell you that they are very intentional about being faithful. It's not that they just naturally, or it's something that will just come naturally. As humans, we are prone to be excited when we see someone who meets the quality of a man or a woman that we like. And if we yield to those emotions all the time, we will definitely find ourselves being gullible. And gullibility is the problem here. It's the same with eating. If you cannot control your appetite, you eat like a fool and you grow fat. If you don't control your appetite to pleasurable things in the world, you definitely be very gullible towards them. So it's the same with our emotions, with our sexuality, and all of that. So people who are faithful are very disciplined individuals, women and men,
But don't you think
but it's not limited to just men.
or don't you think your partner's behavior or your partner can influence you to be to be unfaithful?
Very much, yes,
All right, that's what
yes,
I wanted
very
to
much.
I wanted to establish here. Hi, Mavis, you're welcome. Now, the next thing which I want us to look at is this, because this assertion that men are unfaithful, are polygamous by nature. I want to say at one point, frankly speaking, you choose to be polygamous and you choose to cheat, and you can be influenced by some dissatisfaction from your partner equally, just
Exactly.
like just like what Coach B said. Now we have this one. It says fidelity entails more discipline than one can imagine. Thank
Correct.
you. And this language, Gaifi, you're welcome. This is exactly dear. All right. Now, the next thing which I wanted us to look at, and this has a lot to do with mental health. In the course of all this, there are stories of Annie Idibia involved in, you see,
Mhm.
involved in substance.
Right.
Now, do you think has substance ever been a remedy to a mental illness or pressure or any situation that has to do with human mind?
Awesome. That's a very good question. And I'm very passionate about mental health.
Yeah.
So our emotions are like our brains.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to feed our emotions are independent, just like our skin is independent, our physical health is independent. So we need to feed our mental health, our emotional well-being, the same way we feed our stomachs. So the
Mm-hmm.
things that our emotions accommodate
Mm-hmm.
sometimes can either cause the emotions to be unstable. And once those things make your emotions unstable, if you don't get medication, if you don't get a cure for that, for your unstable emotions, then you would find an outlet in a different way. And unfortunately, for most of us in Africa or some superstars, they've been unfortunate to have been exposed to the wrong things to use to manage their anxiety, to manage pressure, and to manage some of these things that are affecting their emotions.
Yeah.
And so I want to say, and again, I've never seen her do this, but the way she behaves, her body language can tell you that she's on something. And we've also heard videos of people attesting to the fact that she is on something. Whatever that thing is an outlet for her. That's probably the thing that makes her to ignore what the public is saying about her or what the public is saying about her husband. That's probably what is making her be comfortable as a superstar that she is. Maybe that's what she takes to be very confident and very strong on stage because she's an actress also. You never know what people take to gain the kind of confidence that they have.
Mm-hmm.
However, is it correct? The answer is no. Nobody should be under the influence of something just to be the best version of themselves. You can be your authentic self without the influence of something. Once you start depending on something to be something else, then that's not who you're supposed to be. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you were created for something, if you were created to be a superstar, you will get on that stage and you will still perform naturally without the influence of something. And so in the past, we've noticed that so many superstars have lost their lives because of the substance stuff that they take. That's
Mm-hmm.
because they take it to a point where they start depending on it. But I'll say here that I would not like to encourage anybody to take anything. I don't care if it's alcohol. I don't care if it's just cigarettes. Do not take anything that will make you act out of the ordinary. Be your authentic self and let the people who can accept you the way you are, let them accept you. And those that cannot accept you the way you are, let them flee. Let them flee, because these things are just going to destroy your future and even the future of your offsprings. Because right now she is in rehab. What is happening to her kids? Because I know she's a very family oriented person.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Now,
someone who loves her kids very much and likes to have her kids around. Being in rehab now is separating her from her kids.
mm-hmm.
The question is,
Actually,
once you start depending on these things, how does it affect you now? And how does it affect you in the future? That's what each
mm-hmm.
and every one of us should think of before we take our hands and allow ourselves to be used as
um,
guinea pigs. Let's not be exploited in Africa through people like this. I was
mm-hmm.
surprised when I heard things like, I don't want to say it on this call. There's some substances that I didn't imagine exist in Cameroon. to be honest. When
Yes.
I finally
Yeah.
heard that they have it all over there, and I was
Yeah.
really shocked. To
Yeah.
a
They are.
point where they take some of these things and they come over and they use some of you as guinea pigs just to test it on you. And once they test it, now you become dependent on them. It takes your finances, it takes your potential, it takes you away from yourself and from your family.
Yeah.
So it's not a good outlet, to be
Now,
honest.
yeah, that's a sincere response and a good thing to say. But is it sometimes it's not just about the people around you. Sometimes it's about you yourself. You see, it's about you, the person, going through a situation. There's sometimes it's about you, the person, going through stress. You know, when you're going through a stressful situation, you're in a vulnerable state. And no matter what, how we put it, if that's the case with Annie, then someone might have given her the first time and then she came to like it.
And someone that she trusted.
And someone that she trusted, you see, and
Yeah,
that person is giving as a solution to this stress.
correct.
Just check the checking and all of a
Mhm.
sudden, and because I remember there was a time which one guy told me about his father that was taking a medication, and the father was old. He was having a situation where he had to take this medication, and the medication makes him to chack. Let me use that word. The medication is to chacky. So the father took the medication and became addicted to it, and he started liking it. So
Yeah.
they had to stop it rapidly. You see. Now, it's a case where even when somebody is in a vulnerable state, because if you see a woman that's in a state of a troubled marriage, I'm angry, I don't know what to do. You see some, and I was walking one time, I saw a lady that was walking, she doesn't look insane. I was telling the guy I was with, who was I with? One guy I said, I was like, you see that lady like that, she might not be insane. Maybe it's just a mental, it's something like depression that might be disturbing her. You see, because us here we are not really intentional about these mental health things. You see, sometimes somebody might have a situation that will need counseling or therapy. They go and start, or they start doing substance, and it becomes very addictive. It becomes very very addictive to the point that to leave it becomes a serious problem. And you cannot even imagine the number of people that are into substance and in such a way that is that some are rich enough that they sneak in and out of rehab. They sneak. If Annie Matanova cast now might never even know that she was in rehab. And you see, and a lot of people tend to rely on this. So when it comes to mental health and substance, I think it is a very, very important thing for us to know how to deal with ourselves first when we're in a vulnerable state. When we're in a vulnerable state. Because substance might seem there's not just substance, there's alcohol. You
Yeah,
see, people that we call drunker are a victim of a particular situation that pushed them to start drinking.
exactly.
A lot of those things, and usually when you're doing that, you are looking for means to take away the pain.
Correct.
You're looking for a means to take away the pain. I just wanna drink
Feel better.
and feel better. And that's why I was asking that question because it's a common phenomenon. It's a common phenomenon with a lot of people, and they keep going back there. You see,
Mhm.
so good enough you elaborated that is not something to be taken into consideration. Because if somebody is having a marital crisis like now, like this, what is the right thing to do to calm down their situation? To actually, if somebody is depressed, I caught my husband cheating, my husband is flirting with somebody, I could have I could have pie a lot. You see, what could be the right therapy for somebody in a vulnerable mental state?
I would think that we need to go back to knowing who we are, appreciating us. Again, take it back to self-worth. Majority of us women always blame the cheating,
Yeah.
that we are the problem. We
Mhm.
always think that we are the problem. And once a woman starts thinking that she is the problem, it's because of something that she's not, or because of something that she has done, and that's why the man cheated. That's the most that's the most damaging kind of feeling that you can ever have as a woman. If you are in a relationship with a man and the man cheats on you, I'm not saying that do not do a self assessment to understand what you could have done to trigger the situation. But I'm saying that even if you're doing that, never you blame yourself for someone else's behavior. The
Mm-hmm.
man cheated because he chose to cheat. So if you understand that, it's going to reduce the pain. That's the number one thing, because women are fond of asking the question, what is it that I have that she doesn't? What is it that she
Exactly.
has that I do not have? You are
Mm-hmm.
you and you are not her, and you will never be her, and you'll always be you. So once you understand that you're unique, you understand your self-worth, then you will not be blaming yourself for the fact that your husband cheated on you. So in cases where the man starts cheating, it's who he is. Do your due diligence to understand how you can adjust to that behavior. Meaning,
Mm-hmm.
if you've spoken about it, if you've talked about it, meaning this man was cheating and you caught him cheating, and you talk about it, he apologizes, and then you decide to give it a chance, and then he does it again. You talk about it, he does it again. Everybody has the number of chances that he can give a human being. None of us
Yeah.
can give infinity chances. Only God has the grace to do that, even though I know some humans can give those kinds of chances. But you know that your limit is 50 chances. You know your limit is 100 chances. If you've gotten to 100, let it go. That's what I'll say. That's your tolerance level. That's how much you can take.
And you
If you
start missing the
cannot take
person.
more than that, don't take more than it. Because the reason why women now get into this state of depression is because they go beyond their limit.
Could be at one point you also okay.
One moment.
This is what, all right. No
I'll be,
problem. Yeah, because this is one point where a lot of women have a challenge. You know, when we're advising a woman, you have done this, you have tolerated enough, you have taken, like people are saying, Annie, you have taken a lot, Annie, this, that, Annie, and that, and this, and that. We are not looking at the fact that she actually even loves the Two Face. We're not looking at the fact that she might have relied on Two Face at one point in her life. We're not looking at the fact that she even has children with Two Face. We're not looking at the fact that there's already a connection between the two of them. So after spending 20 years of your life being with somebody, being familiar with their own bad habits, living a life with them over and over and rotating and seeing the same face and seeing the need to actually continue and tolerating more of their excesses and all of that, and just for you to come and sit one day and say, I've had enough, to go and start with another idiot that is not maybe even worse than that one.
no, I don't
This
always
is the
think
trap.
that there's
This is the
worse
trap.
out there, because that's the excuse that people give to stay in toxic relationships, that there's no better out there. If there's no better out there, then choose yourself. That's what I'll say. So
Eh?
once
A
you've gotten
relationship.
to that point where you've gotten to your limit, everyone has a limit. We all have a limit. So it might have taken her 20 years to get to her limit. And in this case, I'm not sure if she's the one filing the divorce or is the husband
Yeah,
filing the divorce in this case. So if
yeah.
she's the one filing the divorce, this is the problem that some of us women also have. We stay there hoping for the day that the man will change or the individual will change. And then time goes by, and before, by the time you realize that this individual is never going to change, you're living when it's really late. So the problem is not the person acting that way, it's the way you are reacting to the actions of the person. If you get to a point where you realize that this man is never going to change, ask yourself this question: do I want to take him the way he is and accommodate him for the rest of my life, or do I want to leave? Because waiting for someone to change is it's not an option. Those people will always change when they are ready to change. So change in this case is chance. It's something that might happen and it's something that might not happen. So either take the person the way he is. I ended up getting married to an armed robber and I've accepted that he is an armed robber, and I'm going to live with an armed robber for the rest of my life, and I'm going
The
to be
wife
happy
was
with my
our
armed robber. I had an uncle that got married to a woman, and at some point he called us and said, "This is my bitch. I chose her, and I will stick with her for the rest of my life."
yeah.
He was tired of complaining and not making the decision to leave. So he decided to accept the bitch and stay with the bitch. So that's what
Exactly.
most of us need to do. But if you know that you cannot take it anymore, choose yourself. Choose
And stay
yourself.
with yourself because the gospel of leave, leave, leave. If this one is happening, leave. Anywhere happening, leave. Anywhere happening, leave has made a lot of women single and has made a lot of them roaming around.
No, I
This
don't
is
even I don't know how to put this. I don't know if because people told you to leave your relationship is enough reason for you to leave it. You leave your
now.
relationship when you're very sure that it's time to leave. Nobody should tell you to leave because nobody told you to get in, especially except in cases where somebody told you to get into that relationship, then they probably have a say when you're leaving it. But if you decided to be in that relationship with that individual, you should be the one deciding to leave. So I'm not a huge fan of telling people to leave their relationships. I'll tell you the behavior that I'm seeing in that relationship that needs to be addressed or that you need to react differently to. In this case, your husband is a perpetual cheat and he cheats to the point where he makes babies from the cheating. If you
No,
want to accept him as he is, go ahead and accept him. But this is a behavior that if you keep encouraging, you will end up with more babies that you're not the mother of, or you will end up with other illnesses because he goes out and has unprotected sex.
yeah.
So those are the two consequences. And so if you give that advice to someone and the person says, anyway, he's a superstar, he's a billionaire. If I want to travel, I fly in a private jet. I go to
Mhm.
vacation anywhere I want to go in the world. And I am this public figure, but I am his wife. No matter the number of kids that he has out there, I am still his wife. And then you need to accommodate the excesses that will come with it. So
Now,
everything has consequences.
yeah, because the reason I'm saying this is we have the 18-year-old ladies that are coming up. We have the 22-year-old kids that are looking equally. Do I call them kids? 22-year-old young adults that are actually watching. And if they have to get examples like never do this for a man, never do this for a man, anything you have you leave, anything you have you leave. You know, when somebody listens to something constantly and constantly from people they look up to, it gradually becomes a lifestyle to them and it
Yeah,
sinks.
it's definitely there to mold their behavior. I'll be leaving very soon. I have to step out. So I'll
And
be
you have
leaving very soon. It is meant to mold their behavior. But I think the lessons that they should be learning from such events shouldn't be that they shouldn't pursue their happiness. If you meet your innocent at the age of 15 and you think it's right for you to compromise all your standards to be with innocent, what I am telling you today is that there will be consequences and be ready for them.
like this one.
Secondly, if you choose that you will not be in a relationship with someone who is way older than you, and that at the age of 15 you should be pursuing your education and not focusing on chasing any man, then you will definitely have the same different consequences. So in this case, I will never go back to judge this lady that what was she doing at the age of 15 with a man. There were probably different circumstances that might have lured her into this relationship. I'm not going to judge her here. But to the people that are watching, to the people that are listening to this or watching this story online, if you want to pick anything from that situation, please know your limits. Know your limits. Understand what you can take in a relationship and what you cannot take. Know when to say it's enough, when to choose you, because this lady has lost herself. She has lost her identity as a human being because the only thing that she was is Idibia.
That's
She
the
didn't
person she
pursue
loves.
who she
That's the
really
person she
wanted to
loves.
be. Maybe she realized her dream. I cannot say for a fact that she did not realize her dream, but I think she was more of an Idibia than Annie. She was more of an Idibia than Annie.
What did that make her
Was
happy?
stoned. She was stoned for being an Idibia. She was stoned for accepting the man that she loved for so many years, and she chose to be there. And maybe it was the right choice, maybe it was the wrong choice. But what I'll say is understand your boundaries, know where to start, know where to stop. If I am walking down the street and I see a naked, clean looking woman, what I would see through that woman is mental illness. But what someone else who grew up in a local community in Cameroon where they see people just put their hands in one or two societies here and there and parade the street naked and then make money the next day, this person will see family, but I will see mental illness, and that's because we're from different perspectives. So
Yeah,
your
I get.
perspective is unique to your circumstances. My perspective is unique to my circumstances.
No.
When you look at that story, please take the lessons from the story. Do not be distracted by what people are saying in the comment section. None of us is right here. The only people who know the true story are Annie Idibia and Innocent Idibia. So in this case, we can only learn what we can learn from the situation and
Okay.
throw away what we cannot.
I want to ask one sharp one before
Okay.
before we finish.
Sure.
Now, Coach B, for all of us watching and witnessing this story and coupled with the different challenges we're having in life, when do you really think is the right time to quit?
The right time to quit?
Yes.
That's a very difficult question. I would still say the right time to quit is when you've exceeded your, like when you've gotten to your margin, when you've gotten to where it stops for you. This is where I end. And I think everyone should have a definition of what they can take and what they cannot take, how much they can take and how much they cannot take. So if you understand how much you cannot take, when you get there, you will definitely let it go.
Wow.
But
How
this
much?
is unique to different circumstances, because sometimes you just feel like you've invested too much in this relationship to let it go. But I don't think that's
Yeah.
the right approach. Some things are just meant to die someday.
And they will finally die if you stay or not. I mean, that's
Exactly.
really a beautiful one. Sometimes we really need to live our reality. There are relationships that will never last, but we keep holding on. Could be is always a
Exactly.
sweet time having you. Always. So
You're
I want to
right.
take a few comments. I want to take a few
Okay,
comments.
let me run.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank
Coach B. Have
you.
a wonderful
Thank you.
night.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. All right, we have Mavis Go. Mavis, always great reading from you. He says, I still think being faithful is a choice, a commitment, just like marriage. Marriage will come with challenges. I do not think these challenges are just an excuse for us to cheat. If you can't cope with challenges, end the relationship. Don't stay and cheat. Cheating is principally caused by indiscipline. It's a weakness. You won't get as a beer. Not every this comment might apply for some cultures, but not all. Mm. Now let's take this. It says, please let us not capitalize on the fact that she behaves like she is on drugs. Experience taught me not to make assumptions or read the book and stuff like that. That's true. Now we are saying that if that is the case, if at all it is a case, that's what we're looking at. But it's very true. Looking at the book from it's called a very risky. It's a very risky way of analyzing. Now, as humans, you can always get people, including your spouse, to do your bidding all the time. So your reaction to circumstances is seriously dependent on you, not the offenders. And it says drugs, sex, alcohol, and all are coping mechanisms. Some people sleep around just to alleviate pain and hurt. So true. Now, people, I think we have exhausted this topic to an extent to the point that we all have to really take a step back to think and reason about our own lives. These are people that are already made, and some of you are already taking these things that are happening to your own relationships and to your own homes and you're taking it personal. If you're there, you know how to make life. And be rest assured, if you're not famous, if you're not a star, I don't think you can even give an advice to Two Face and you even understand their reality. This is Two Face, this is Two Baba. and is somebody that if he works in any place, people are going to recognize him. He's going to pull a crowd. He's a superstar. That's what we should understand. And superstars have their realities. The problem the mistake we can make is to keep taking sides. When you take sides, it is very, very catastrophic and detrimental to a situation like this. Two Baba is hurt, Annie is hurt. No, we leave them in a subject matter like that. Let's not put our mouth and keep taking sides. And using Annie's experience as a pattern for your life might lead you to do, because frankly speaking, no two experiences in life are the same. You don't know what she did that was pushing Two Face. I don't know what Two Face. We all are talking about Two Face baby mama, but they might have other problems bigger than that. So we can use their life as an example. Live your life, live your reality, follow your life the way it is supposed to be, and live as happily as you can. If you have a problem, address it and talk it with the person you're dating or your person you're married to, and it's definitely gonna be solved. And accumulated baggages, accumulated grudges is the shortest cut to actually terminate every union between man and woman. Above all, the both of you should be in perfect union and communication, such that each carries each burden and is able to share in their success and their failures. Now, I don't really have much to say after exhausting this topic, but I just really wish that our women should be less emotional when it comes to topics like this and try to face reality. Try to be logical, to look at things from both angles. Instead of judging either Annie or Two Face, let's be very logical to be in the middle such that we understand both sides of the story to know who did wrong and who did right. But above all, learn from these experiences to have a better experience with our own lives. Remember, you have a life to build on your own, and your life is 100% your responsibility. All right, thanks to everybody that has been part from the start up to now. At this point, we're about to pack our bags out of the studio. I told you guys was not going to be long, but the conversation was very vital to the extent that we had to come this far. Now, see you all on Sunday.